Welcome to part one of my Yoga for Back Care series. Today's practice is going to focus on more of the movement of the spine. So we're going to go through many postures, just incorporating movements of the spine. Starting in Sukhasana, easy seated pose, our tuning in posture for the day. You have options, as always in my practice, you have options. You can sit with the ankles one in front of the other, or if it's more comfortable, place the ankles one on top of each other. Sukhasana is not always a comfortable pose for people, especially if you do have some back issues. So if this is a case for you, either grab your towels or your blankets, or even a pillow, and sit at the edge of this. It helps to tilt your pelvis so that it should be more comfortable once you do that. Sitting in Sukhasana, this is not a relaxed pose, this is an active pose. Imagine reaching the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, but remaining rooted in through your tailbone. Nice neutral alignment of the spine from the neck all the way down to your tailbone. Shoulders are relaxed away from your ears. To help with that, I'd like you to take a deep breath, bring the shoulders all the way up to your ears as far as you can, and then let them drop with an audible sigh. Let's do that again 2 more times. Bring the shoulders all the way up to the ears. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then just roll the shoulders back a few times and forward. And then come to your Sukhasana pose. I invite you to close your eyes. This helps us to make the transition from what's going on around and outside of us to begin to check in to what's going on inside. Not just physically, but mentally, perhaps even emotionally. To make this transition, one of the simplest things we can do is focus on our breath. So I invite you to do that now. Focus your attention, but just an observation. Don't attempt to try to fix your breath. Just let it be natural. Let it be smooth. Let it find its natural rhythm. Now bring your attention to your spine, your vertebra, each vertebra in your spine. And as you inhale, imagine that you're again trying to touch the crown of your head to the ceiling and visualize the space between each vertebra becoming a little larger. And then as you exhale, imagine your vertebra coming closer together. This simple breath and movement of lifting the head up towards the ceiling but remaining rooted in the tailbone is actually nourishing your spine. And this is something you can do standing in line, waiting at the doctor's office or wherever you may be waiting, sitting on the bleachers watching your kids playing, sitting nice and tall, lengthening through the vertebra, each vertebra with every inhalation, and feeling the spine, the vertebra coming back together with every exhalation. already begin to notice what's happening in your back. You're finding it even still uncomfortable to sit in this posture. I invite you to even prop yourself up even more. Or if it's really not comfortable, feel free to come to Savasana, lying down on your back, to corpse pose. Begin to gently blink your eyes open now. Switch the crossing of your leg now, if you have, whether they're stacked or one in front of the other. Switch the crossing up. Moving on to a side bend. This is moving the spine laterally side to side. Bring the arms down to your side with the fingertips just lightly touching the floor as you take a look at your arms, and they should be nice and long with the shoulders once again away from the ears. So be mindful that your shoulders aren't up by the ears, and if you find them creeping up, pay attention to that and try to relax the shoulders. At the same time, as always, lifting up through the crown of your head, but remaining rooted through your tailbone. Take a deep breath, inhale, and begin to bend over to your right side. I'm sliding my right hand out and then bend the elbow, trying to keep the shoulders stacked. It's what we call stacked, or basically one on top of the other. So let me turn so that you could see what I'm talking about. Stacked. Shoulders are stacked. So one shoulder does not fall forward of the other, or neither does it fall back. Shoulders remain stacked. Take a deep breath, inhale, and come upright. Exhale and bend over to your left. And just continue with this dynamic movement, linking the breath with the movement. Every time you exhale, you bend to the side. Every time you inhale, come back center. If you notice, I'm looking up every time I come to the side, and I look forward when I come upright. But that's just me. You may continue to look forward. You may even look down. If you feel fine, you may even add movement with the arms. Continuing to breathe, inhale and exhale. On this side, we're going to stay on the right side and try to hold for at least 3 full breaths. Count your breaths, please. Please remember you are welcome to switch up what you like to do with the top arm. Inhale, come back upright. Second side, move on to the left for at least 3 breaths. Don't forget to keep the hips rooted on the floor. So it's not about how far down you can bend. It's about whether you're keeping your shoulders stacked and whether your hips are rooted on the floor. Inhale, come back up to the center. Twisting now, moving the spine in its other direction of a twist. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Exhale, twist over to the right. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, twist over left. Continue to do that. I'm just moving my arms along with me, allowing them to fall where they may. Please focus on your twist coming from the belly button up so that your pelvis remains neutral. If you'd like to add movement of the arms, you inhale, the arms come up, you exhale, the arms come down. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale and twist. Inhale. Now we're going to hold this twist for at least 3 cycles of breath. I have taken my left hand and placed it on the outside of my knee to help me twist deeper. If it's uncomfortable for your neck to look over your back shoulder, then please feel free to move it into a direction that feels a little bit more comfortable for you. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Try to stay upright in your twist and not rounded forward. Use the back hand to help push you up into a nice, strong, long, straight spine. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, bring the hands down to your side. Remove the props. We're going to come to a tabletop. You may find that you want to pad your knees. So either keep your towel, your blankets, and place them under your kneecaps if this feels much better for you. In tabletop, your knees should be hip-width apart, so take a look at them. They should be hip-width apart and they should be directly underneath your hips. Your arms, shoulder-width apart. You can have the arms either directly underneath your shoulders. And so now that you're checking that, take a look at your wrist creases, the creases of your wrist, and try to get them parallel to the short edge of the mat. If this isn't comfortable with the shoulders directly over the wrist, I'm not finding it very comfortable. I'm going to walk my hands out just a little bit forward of my shoulders. In tabletop, you're attempting to maintain a nice neutral alignment of the spine, and that means that your back is neither arched like this or rounded like that. You are in a neutral alignment of the spine. Your crown of your head is once again reaching, lengthening towards the wall in front of you, and your tailbone to the wall behind you. This is called tabletop. What you do with your toes is up to you, whether you have the toes tucked or flat. Push into your hands, press up so that you activate your lats, and take deep breaths here. Let's move on to a cat-cow. Cow being the first posture with your inhale. This is where you allow your back to arch and you look up. Then exhale, round your back into cat, push all the air out. And now we're moving our spine through flexion and extension. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Also, we're beginning to engage the abdominal muscles every time we come to cat as you pull the belly button up towards your spine. 2 more, please. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, coming back to your tabletop once again, a neutral alignment of the spine. Take your right leg, extend it back with the toes remaining on the floor. Feel into what's happening in your hips. Trying to make sure that your hips are parallel to the floor so they remain facing the floor, not turned up. This is one of the stopping points, so you can stay here as we move towards pointing dog. So this is a stopping point. You can stay right here. Next would be to take your left hand out in front of you, keeping the fingertips lightly touching on the floor. Stopping point number 2. Moving on, you can extend and lift the left leg up from the floor. And then moving on to the next point, you can bring the left arm up by your ear, trying to keep your hips parallel to the floor, the crown of your head reaching for the wall in front of you, not looking up, and lengthening through your fingers and your toes, as if you want to touch your fingers to the wall in front of you and your toes to the wall behind you. It's a balanced posture, engaging our abdominals. Take another deep breath, see if you can lengthen a little further. Exhale, put the hand down, put the knee down. Come to sitting on your heels just for a moment. You may have found that a little uncomfortable for your wrists, especially if you're not used to being on your hands like that. So just go ahead and shake them out, roll them out. And let's move on to the second side. Finding, first of all, tabletop. Checking your form. Extend the left leg behind you with the toes on the floor. Stay here if you feel like this is great for you today. Take the right hand with the fingertips just lightly touching the floor, the thumb facing the ceiling. If you want to increase the intensity of this, lift the left leg and further lift the right arm. Pay attention, please, to the hips again. Make sure that they're not round. You haven't lost the contraction of that, and you haven't shifted one hip down lower than the other. Reach, lengthen, stretch. Take a deep breath. Inhale. See if you can reach a little further. Exhale, hand down, knee down. Sit on your heels. If sitting on your heels does not feel good, then just kneel. Shake out your wrists. Remove the props, if you've had any underneath your knees, and just place them to the side. Come to lying down on your belly. Stack your palms. Rest your forehead on your palms. Bend the knees, windshield wiper the knees side to side. Bring the knees back to the center, straighten your legs. Bring your hands to the side of your chest here. Going to move on to a cobra, some dynamic movements. Looking down a little bit, that's going to help keep a neutral alignment of your cervical spine. I know you may need to look up to see what I'm doing, but do that, but then look back down like I am doing here. As you inhale, use your back muscles to lift your chest up off the floor. As you exhale, release and lower. Inhale, lift. So this posture, this dynamic movement of cobra is helping to use the back muscles in a strengthening way. So we're strengthening the muscles of the back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Let's see if you can hold up for like 3 full breaths. Try not to push too much into your hands. Let the work come from your back. When you're done, release, stack your palms, rest your forehead on your palms, bend your knees, windshield wiper,
the knees, the legs, side to side. Bring the legs back to center, straighten the legs. You can do that cobra again, the dynamic cobra, or you can join me in what's called a locust pose. Put your forehead on the floor, bring your arms by your side with the palms facing the floor. As you inhale, lift your chest up again away from the floor. Keep your fingertips on the floor. As you exhale, lower. So you're either doing this like I am in locust or in cobra. On the next one, let's hold up for three cycles of breath. If you're feeling strong today, perhaps you want to lift your arms. If you're feeling even stronger, then lift your legs. But the crown of your head reaching to the wall in front of you, your fingertips and your toes reaching to the wall behind you. Take a deep breath, come up a little higher if you can. Exhale, lower down, look to the right, placing your left ear on the floor. Lift the head, switch so that you can place the right ear on the floor. Stack your palms, rest your forehead on your palms, bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs. Bring the legs back to the center, straighten the legs. Press yourself back up. We're going to do our final posture. It's a chest and shoulder opening posture. Grab your towel or your blanket, roll it up, lie down on your side first with the blanket or the rolled up towel right at your armpits. And then roll onto your back, placing your arms in a T with the blanket, as you can see, it's right at my armpits. Your feet are on the floor with the knees bent. Your knees are falling in together as your feet are out a little wider than your hips. Take a moment to feel this pose. If it doesn't feel comfortable, let's start with your back of your head. You may take a towel or a blanket, pillow, place that underneath your head. That feels better for me. If you're feeling like it's way too much of a stretch through your chest and it's uncomfortable, then lower the height of the blanket underneath your shoulder. Maybe get a towel instead. And what about what's happening at your lower back? If it feels fine, try straightening the legs. Straightening the legs, you may find too deep of an arch through your back. This is a back bend, a gentle back bend. So if that doesn't feel good, then just bring the feet back in towards your hips. It's a pose designed to help open across the chest and the shoulders. Close your eyes. Feel the opening. Allow the opening to happen across the chest, the shoulders. Remaining present in your practice as you
refocus on your breath. Four more full cycles of breath, please, counting the breaths. Everybody's rate of respiration is going to be different. Don't worry about anybody else. One of the nicest things about practicing at home. You don't have to worry about anybody else but you. When you're done with your full breaths, blink your eyes open. Coming onto your side so that you can remove the prop. Just come up onto your elbow, remove the prop to the side, and come back to lying down. And just take a moment to feel that. Hug the knees into your chest. Bring the arms out to a T. Gently lower both knees to your left as you look over your right shoulder. Trying to keep the right shoulder down on the floor. Moving your head and neck around if it's uncomfortable for you to be looking over the right shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, gently lower your knees to the right, looking over your left shoulder. You can use your right hand and rest it on top of the outer leg to help you deepen into this twist. But we're not going to be here for long. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, coming into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. Allow your feet to roll out. Bring your arms a little further away from your body. Close your eyes. Allowing your body the opportunity to absorb all the benefits of the postures we have just done. Remaining present as you remain focused on your breath. Once again, just allowing it to find its natural rhythm. When we are in Shavasana, our mind tends to begin to wander to what are we going to do next, because we know that we're nearing the end of our practice. Resist that urge to do that. Resist that as much as you can by staying present for just a few moments more. Use your breath to help you do that. Feel the sensations in your body to also help keep you present. If you're ready to come out of Shavasana, begin by wiggling your fingers, your toes, perhaps even looking side to side, but keeping your eyes closed and till we close our practice. Take a full body stretch. Bring the legs and the feet together, the arms up over your head. Point the toes, reach, extend the arms up over your head and reach. Exhale as you hug the knees into your chest. Decide on which side you're going to roll up. Bring the arm up by your ear. Roll onto your side in a fetal position, resting your head on your extended arm. The eyes are closed, or at least in a soft gaze downward. Press into the top hand as you lift yourself up. Gently, slowly, coming back to our Sukhasana pose, the one we started with. Placing your hands atop of your thighs, palms down or palms up. Take a few moments to find gratitude for your practice, for your day, for your life. Whatever it is that you are grateful for, just take a moment to extend those two words of thank you. Thank you to God. Begin to blink your eyes open. Thank you for joining me today in part 1 of the Gentle Yoga for Back Care series. There will be 3 additional series to this back care. I hope you'll join me. Thanks. Have a great day.